Mercedes-AMG EQE 53 Review. Mercedes Performance Division enters a new era of pure electrification, with a 677 brake horsepower saloon. The Mercedes-AMG EQE 53 is Stuttgart's second proper stab at an electric AMG production car, after the Mercedes-AMG EQS 53. E-Class-based cars have always been the archetypal AMGs, so does that apply in the electric era, with the equivalently sized Mercedes EQE? AMG certainly got into electric performance cars very early. The pioneering Mercedes-AMG SLS electric drive was launched in 2014, when its 738 brake horsepower peak output was deeply impressive, and its claimed 120-mile range was pretty respectable for an off-the-shelf EV. It also cost £355,000, so unsurprisingly AMG produced only a handful of them. 8 years later, AMG has launched another EV, the EQE 53, which makes 617 brake horsepower in standard form, and up to 677 brake horsepower, briefly, when equipped with the AMG Dynamic Plus package, has a range of up to 321 miles, and comes with the extra practicality of 4 seats and luggage space. UK pricing hasn't been confirmed, but we're told to expect it to be around £115,000, less than a third of the cost of that SLS. But the EQE 53's arrival raises another question. How, beyond raw performance, of which this car and its bigger sibling, the Mercedes-AMG EQS 53, have a superabundance, will the tuning division distinguish its EVs from the regular Mercedes versions, on which they're based? There's certainly no shortage of power. The EQE 53 uses the same 90.6 kWh battery as the regular Mercedes-Benz EQE 350 Plus, but gets 2 more powerful, AMG-specific electric motors featuring new windings, and the ability to handle more current. AMG claims a 3.4 seconds 0 to 60 miles per hour time for the regular EQE 53, and 3.2 seconds when the car is fitted with the Dynamic Plus package, which adds launch control, figures that, if delivered, will make this sizable saloon one of the fastest accelerating models that the Mercedes clan has ever produced. Interior. Inside, the Mercedes-AMG EQE 53 is very familiar from the standard EQE. You will need to be a keen spotter to distinguish it from a standard AMG line car, since the only real difference is the AMG badges on the seats. In the UK, the seats are upholstered in either black or brown leather, and get the full gamut of adjustment as standard. They're very comfortable over long distances, and offer decent lateral support. Depending on whether you choose the Night Edition or the Touring, the interior will have a slightly different ambience. The former gets a grained wood dashboard, while the latter gets the sort of wood that you might find on the deck of an expensive yacht. Both options are quite appealing, if slightly incongruous, in a performance saloon. For an extra £7,000 or so, you can replace the lot with the Hyperscreen, which effectively adds an extra screen in front of the passenger. As in the EQS, we're not convinced that it adds all that much, since the standard MBUX multimedia system has all the functionality you could wish for and works really rather well for an all-touchscreen system. All the tech does appear to have come at the expense of at least some of the material quality that Mercedes has used to traditionally distinguish its cars. The EQE's fixtures and fittings feel a little plasticky and cheap in places, even if in others its standard on material fit and finish is higher. Outright interior space is unchanged from any other EQE, which means it's roomy enough for 4 adults, but lacks the ultimate spaciousness, airiness and hatchback boot of the Tesla Model S. Engines and performance. On many levels, the EQE 53 is deeply impressive. Its performance feels every bit as serious as the numbers suggest. It can deliver the sort of forces that relocate internal organs and cause passengers to squeal involuntarily. Peak power is restricted in less aggressive dynamic modes to 308 brake horsepower in slippery, 493 brake horsepower in comfort and 555 brake horsepower in sport. The full 617 brake horsepower is available only in Sport Plus, with the overboost to 677 brake horsepower coming only when using the race start launch function. But across the board, it feels hugely fast. Ride and handling. So, where the EQE 53 needs to shine is with its chassis. Given the Model S Plaid is rather unsophisticated in this respect, there are places to be made up here. Standard fit four-wheel steering makes this relatively large car fairly wieldy, and despite the EQE's porky curb weight of 2,600 kilograms, its equally standard air suspension maintains impressively good body control over everything from a gentle schlep to being thrown along a mountain road. The ride stays composed when the chassis is asked to deal with big vertical movements. However, while we found the ride to be excellent when we drove the AMG EQE in Germany, rougher UK roads uncovered a fair bit of thumpiness. MPG and running costs. As with most Mercedes in the UK, the pricing for the AMG EQE is exceedingly simple but always expensive. The lower-powered EQE 43 isn't offered here, just the EQE 53 in either Night Edition or Touring form. Both cost £114,750, and the only optional extras are a range of premium paints and the Hyperscreen. And a little conclusion, the standard Mercedes EQE, in single-motor 300 and 350 form, has a clear mission, to cut through the air with minimal drag, in order to be a comfortable, efficient, long-distance EV. Given that all UK market EQEs are on air suspension, it does this really rather well, even if it is overpriced compared with rivals. Adding another motor, oodles of power and a sportier suspension tune erodes these strengths, and while the EQE 53 impresses as a piece of engineering, it can't match its rivals' claims to fame or generate the kind of visceral emotion that normally comes with AMG branding. So that's our short review. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comments and share for other latest video updates. Thank you.